Every free moment, I'm daydreaming about the wedding. My dress, the flowers, the music. I want everything to be flawless. It's as if I'm living in a constant fantasy, visualizing every little detail. But lately, I've been pondering how to make our wedding truly unique. Something that stands apart from all the others we've attended. Then it hit me. What if we had an all-women wedding? The idea came to me out of nowhere, but now I can't stop thinking about it. Picture this. Instead of Dad walking me down the aisle, it's Mum. My sisters, aunts and friends will all be there. There won't be any groomsmen, just my bridesmaids. Mum will give a speech instead of Dad, and Grandma will lead a blessing. It would be amazing. I can see it clearly, like a movie replaying in my mind. Every part of the ceremony would involve women. My female cousin doing a reading, our family friend Sarah officiating, and even the musicians and photographer being women. It would be a celebration of the women who have supported me throughout my life. The only man would be Josh, waiting for me at the altar. The more I think about it, the more I love the idea. It feels right, as if it perfectly captures the love and strength I've received from the women in my family. All those late nights, Mom stayed up helping me with homework. Or when my sisters comforted me after a breakup, the way my aunts always cheer me on. It would all be honored. And Josh has always supported my close bond with my family. He'll understand. He knows how much these women mean to me, and he's never been into all that macho stuff. He'll probably be relieved not to deal with choosing groomsmen or planning a bachelor party. I can't wait to tell him. He'll think it's such a cool idea. I bet he'll be touched that I want him to be the only guy there, like he's the guest of honor. I can already imagine him smiling and agreeing. He's always encouraged me to be myself and do things my way. I'm getting more excited with every minute. This is going to be perfect. A room full of women celebrating love and family, with Josh at the heart of it all. When we say our vows, it'll be like no other wedding. I just know it. I'm thinking about what everyone might wear. Maybe we could ask all the guests to wear white too, not just me. Or would that be too much? I'll have to think about it. As for the flowers, we could use all my favorite blooms, the ones my grandma taught me about in her garden. And for the music, we could have an all-female band at the reception. Josh's sister might be able to help find one since she's always going to indie concerts. For our first dance, maybe we could choose a song by a female artist that's meaningful to both of us. I can't believe I didn't think of this sooner. It feels like everything is falling into place. This wedding will be a statement, a celebration of love in all its forms, not just between me and Josh, but also the women who've shaped my life. I'm practically buzzing with excitement. There's so much to plan, so many details to figure out. But first, I need to tell Josh. I'm sure he'll be just as thrilled as I am. This is going to be the start of something beautiful. I can feel it. Hey, Josh here. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Sally's just told me her idea for our wedding, and I don't even know how to respond. A women-only wedding? Is she serious? I love Sally, I really do. But this doesn't sit well with me at all. I'm shocked she'd even suggest something so one-sided. I mean, it's our wedding, right? Not just hers. She's going on and on about how amazing it will be. Her mom walking her down the aisle. Her sisters and aunts everywhere. Even a female officiant. And where am I in all of this? Oh yeah, I get to stand at the altar and watch like I'm some kind of prop in her big show. I'm trying to stay calm, but inside I'm filled with frustration and confusion. A wedding is supposed to be about partnership, isn't it? It's meant to symbolize our union, not just be Sally's moment to shine. The more she talks, the more I feel like I'm being erased from my own wedding. Finally, I can't take it anymore. I say as calmly as I can, Sally, this isn't just your wedding, it's our wedding. I tell her I've always supported her relationships with the women in her life. But this is different. Our wedding should reflect both of us. Excluding all my friends and family? It feels like she's only thinking about herself. I can't agree to a wedding that makes me feel like a guest at my own event. I see that Sally looks shocked. I don't think she expected me to push back. She starts trying to convince me again, talking about how meaningful it would be, how unique, but I won't budge. This is too important to me. I won't be sidelined or treated like I don't matter. As she keeps talking, I feel my irritation growing. She's so focused on her vision that she can't see how unfair this is. Before I know it, I say, "Why don't you just have the wedding without me? That would make it even more perfect, wouldn't it?" As soon as the words are out, I regret them. Sally looks hurt, offended, but a part of me is relieved I said it. Maybe now she'll understand how this makes me feel. We're both quiet for a moment, and I realize just how far apart we are on this. It's not just about the wedding anymore. For the first time, I'm wondering if we really see our future the same way. Does Sally always expect me to just go along with her ideas, even when they completely ignore my feelings? I take a deep breath. Look, Sally, I love you, but this isn't going to work. Our wedding needs to be about us, not just you. I want my family there, my friends. I want to be an equal part of this, not just the guy waiting at the end of the aisle. Sally still looks at me as though she can't believe what she's hearing. I can see her trying to find the right words to change my mind. But I've made my decision. This is a line I won't cross. I'm not backing down on this. We've never disagreed on something this big before. But I know I'm right. A marriage is about two people coming together, and that's how the wedding should be too. I just hope Sally can see that before this turns into something we can't undo. I love her, but I won't be invisible at my own wedding. We're either in this together or... Well, I don't want to think about that right now. But I'm prepared to stand my ground if I have to. This isn't just about the wedding anymore. It's about respect, partnership, and how we see our future together. Right now, it feels like we're miles apart, and I'm not sure how we're going to bridge this gap. But I know one thing for sure. I won't back down on this. Our wedding needs to represent both of us, or it's not happening at all. I'm ready for whatever comes next. If Sally can't understand my perspective, then maybe we have bigger issues to address. But I'm hoping she'll come around once she really thinks about what she's asking. Because I can't imagine starting our marriage with an event that makes me feel like an afterthought. The thing is, I've always loved how close Sally is with her family and friends. It's one of the things that drew me to her. But this feels like she's taking it too far. A wedding is supposed to be about joining two families, not excluding one entirely. I wonder if she's even thought about how this would make my family feel. My mom would be devastated if she couldn't be there. And my dad, he's been looking forward to giving a toast at my wedding for years. Not to mention my brothers and my best friends. How can Sally think it's okay to cut them all out? I need to make her understand that while I respect her relationships with the women in her life, our wedding can't be a celebration of just that. It needs to be about us, our love, our commitment to each other, and that includes all the people who supported us along the way, both men and women. I'm not going to let this go, even if it leads to a fight, or if we have to postpone the wedding. I'm standing firm. Because if we can't agree on something as fundamental as this, what does that say about our future together? I can't believe Josh's reaction. I thought he'd be open to my idea, maybe even flattered about being the only man there. But instead, he's completely shutting me down. It's like he's not even trying to understand my point of view. I feel blindsided and honestly, a little hurt. Josh, come on, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. This isn't just about us. It's about honoring all the women who've supported me throughout my life. Can't you see how special that would be? But he won't budge. He keeps talking about how a wedding should represent both of us. How he wants his family and friends there too. I get that, I do. But why can't he understand that this is important to me? Frustrated, I decide to talk to my mum and sisters. They'll understand, and they do right away. Mum tells me, "Honey, it's your special day. You should have the wedding of your dreams." My sisters chime in, saying Josh is being unreasonable and that he should support what I want. Their words strengthen me. Maybe Josh is the one being selfish here. Doesn't he realize how much this means to me? Armed with renewed determination, I go back to Josh. "Listen," I say, my voice firm. "This wedding is about more than just us. It's about honoring the important women in my life. It could be such a unique, meaningful experience if you just open your mind to it." But Josh stands his ground. He won't move an inch. And it's starting to make my blood boil. "You're being so old-fashioned about this," I snap. "Why can't you see beyond traditional wedding ideas? This could be something really, really special." Josh fires back, saying he won't be sidelined at his own wedding. But the more he resists, the more determined I become. This is my vision, my dream. Why should I have to compromise on something so important to me? "You're acting like a dictator," I tell him, my frustration spilling over. "This is supposed to be my day, and you're trying to control everything. Why can't you just support me on this?" I see the anger in Josh's eyes, matching my own. We've never fought like this before, and a small part of me is scared, but I push that feeling aside. I'm right about this. I know I am. "Fine," I say, my voice cold. "If you can't see how important this is to me, maybe we need to rethink things. I'm not going to give up on my dream wedding just because you're too stubborn to consider it." As soon as the words are out, I know I've crossed a line. But I'm too angry to take them back. Josh looks at me like he doesn't even recognize me. And for a moment, I don't recognize myself either. But then I remember my mom's words, my sister's support. They're behind me on this. Why can't Josh be? "I'm not asking for the moon here, Josh," I say, trying to soften my tone a little. "I'm asking for a wedding that celebrates the women who've shaped me into the person you fell in love with. Is that really so hard to understand?" Josh doesn't respond immediately, and I can see him struggling with his emotions. Good. Maybe he's finally starting to get it. "I love you," I say. "But I'm not backing down on this. It's too important to me. I need you to really think about it, okay? Try to see it from my perspective." As I walk away, leaving Josh to think things over, I feel a mix of emotions. I'm angry, yes, but also sad and confused. How did my beautiful idea turn into this ugly fight? But I'm not giving. This is my dream, and I'm going to make it happen. Josh will come around. He has to, because I can't imagine marrying him any other way. I've had enough. I've spent hours trying to explain to Sally why her idea of a women-only wedding is ridiculous. But she's not listening. It feels like I'm talking to a brick wall. Every time I think I'm making progress, she comes back with, "But it's my special day, and I want it to be unique." Or, "You're not being supportive." I'm done being patient. It's time to make her see how unreasonable this entire thing is. We're in the middle of another tense conversation when I finally drop my bombshell. Sally's going on and on about how meaningful her all-women ceremony would be, and I just can't take it anymore. I take a deep breath, look her square in the eyes, and say, "Okay, if you want our wedding to be unique, let's have a men-only wedding. I'll invite all the men in my life. My dad, my brothers, my friends, and you'll be the only woman there." How does that sound? The look on Sally's face is priceless. Her jaw drops, and for once, she's speechless. She stammers, "Uh, are you joking?" But I keep my expression serious. "No, I'm not joking," I say calmly. "If you can have a women-only wedding, why shouldn't I be able to have the opposite? A ceremony focused on all the men who've been important to me, with you as the only woman there to witness it. Sounds fair, right?" Sally's still staring at me like I've grown a second head. So I continue. I start outlining my hypothetical wedding in vivid detail, just like she did with hers. Picture this. My dad walks me down the aisle. My brothers are my groomsmen, no bridesmaids. My best friends handle all the speeches and toasts. The officiant, it'll be my favorite uncle. I can see Sally's shock turning into anger, but I don't stop. And the reception? Oh, it'll be amazing. A big, loud celebration filled with football talk, whiskey, and all kinds of inside jokes that no one will understand. We'll have a guys' night out theme, maybe even hire some dancers. That's completely ridiculous, Sally snaps, her face flushed with anger. A men-only wedding would be a joke. It would exclude me from everything. I lean back, crossing my arms. Exactly, I say, keeping my voice calm. Now you know how I feel. It's not just your wedding, it's ours. And I'm not going to stand by and let you push me aside. Sally's furious now, but I press on. Your refusal to compromise on this women-only idea is selfish, Sally. I love you, but I won't be a guest at my own wedding, sidelined while you celebrate yourself. Marriage is about partnership, about both of us sharing the day equally. If you can't see that, then maybe we're not as compatible as we thought. I can tell my words are hitting home. Sally's anger is now mixed with confusion, maybe even a bit of fear. Good. She needs to realize how serious this is. I've tried to be understanding. I've always supported your close relationships with your family and friends. But this is taking it too far. A wedding is meant to unite two families, not exclude one entirely. Have you even thought about how my family will feel? My mum will be heartbroken. My dad's been looking forward to giving a toast at my wedding for years. And my brothers, my best friends. You're just going to cut them all out? Sally tries to interrupt, but I raise my hand to stop her. I'm not done. I respect the relationships you have with the women in your life. But our wedding can't just be a celebration of that. It needs to be about us, our love, our commitment to each other. And that includes everyone who's supported us, men and women alike. I take a deep breath, gathering myself for what I'm about to say next. So here's the deal, Sally. This is my ultimatum. Either we plan this wedding together, with equal say from both of us, or we call the whole thing off. I'm not going to back down or let you steamroll me with your unrealistic, selfish plan. The silence that follows is deafening. I can see the wheels turning in Sally's head as she processes what I've just said. For the first time since this whole mess started, I think she's realizing how serious I am. I love you, Sally, I say, softening my tone just a bit. But love isn't enough if we can't respect each other's feelings and families. This wedding needs to represent both of us, or it's not happening at all. The ball's in your court now. I stand up, ready to walk away and give her time to think. But before I go, I turn back one last time. Just remember, Sally, marriage is about compromise and understanding. If we can't even agree on our wedding day, what does that say about our future together? With that, I leave the room, letting my words hang in the air. I've said my piece. Now it's up to Sally to decide what's more important. Her fantasy wedding or our future together. I can't believe Josh actually suggested a men-only wedding. Is he serious? And that ultimatum? He's left me feeling shaken, though I'm trying not to show it. I'd never seen him so firm about anything before. There's a real divide between us now, and it scares me. But I can't back down, not after coming this far with my vision. I need to talk to Mom and my sisters. They'll understand, they always do. Over the next few days, I pour my heart out to them and my closest friends. Their response is exactly what I needed to hear. Mom is outraged on my behalf. He's just trying to scare you into doing things his way, she insists, her voice filled with conviction. Stand your ground, honey. It's your wedding. My sisters are equally supportive. Josh is totally overreacting, my older sister says. He's being controlling. Don't let him bully you into giving up your dream. My friends chime in too. He wouldn't really call off the wedding over this, my best friend assures me. He loves you too much to walk away. He's just throwing a tantrum. Their words are like a bomb to my frazzled nerves. They're right, I think. Josh is bluffing. He has to be. There's no way he'd throw away our relationship over this. He loves me. He'll come around once he cools off. With each passing day, I feel more confident in my stance. I replay our arguments in my head. But this time, I imagine myself standing firm, not giving an inch. In these daydreams, Josh always ends up realizing he's being unreasonable. He apologizes, and we move forward with my vision for the wedding. It's perfect. By the time I'm set to meet Josh again, I'm ready. I've rehearsed what I'm going to say, bolstered by the unwavering support of my family and friends. I walk into the coffee shop where we agreed to meet, my head held high. Josh is already there, sitting at a table in the corner. His face is unreadable. As I approach, I take a deep breath and sit down across from him. I've thought about what you said, I begin, my voice steady. But I'm not budging on the women-only concept. It's important to me. Josh, you'll change your mind, I add, my tone almost dismissive. You're just upset right now. I expect him to argue, to get frustrated. But instead, he just looks at me with this calm, resolute expression I've never seen before. My confidence wavers for a moment. I'm not bluffing, Sally, he says, his voice quiet but firm. I'm not going to beg or plead. I'm serious. If you can't see such an important event in our life as something for both of us, then we shouldn't be getting married. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. I open my mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. Before I can gather my thoughts, Josh stands up. It's over, he says simply, and then he walks away. I'm left sitting there, speechless. The world seems to tilt on its axis. He really ended it. My mind is racing, trying to process what just happened. This can't be real. He can't have actually called off the wedding, called off our entire relationship. I had been so sure he was bluffing, so certain that love would win out in the end. But now I'm facing the reality that my stubbornness may have cost me everything. As the initial shock wears off, regret starts to creep in. I replay our conversation in my head, but this time I hear it differently. I hear Josh's hurt, his frustration, and I hear myself dismissing his feelings, steamrolling over his concerns. Oh God, what have I done? I think back to all the conversations with my family and friends. They were so supportive, so encouraging, but now I wonder if they were wrong, if I was wrong. Maybe Josh wasn't being controlling. Maybe he was just asking to be an equal part of our day. The coffee shop bustles around me, but I barely notice. All I can think about is Josh walking away. The look in his eyes when he said it was over. He meant it. He really meant it. I feel sick to my stomach. How did we get here? How did my dream wedding turn into this nightmare? I think about calling Josh, begging him to reconsider, but what would I say? That I'm sorry? That I'll compromise? The words feel hollow, even in my head. For the first time, I truly considered Josh's perspective. A men-only wedding would have felt awful. I would have hated being the only woman there, sidelined at my own wedding. Is that how he felt about my idea? Tears start to well up in my eyes. I've been so caught up in my vision, so sure I was right, that I couldn't see how I was hurting the person I love most in the world. And now? Now it might be too late. I gather my things and leave the coffee shop in a daze. The bright sunlight outside feels wrong, like the world should be as grey as I feel inside. I've got to fix this somehow. But as I walk home, a terrible thought occurs to me. What if I can't? What if I've pushed Josh too far this time? I've never felt so alone.